Disney World's got some major secrets they've been hiding from us, like new character meet and greets that are totally free, how to walk up and get a table at the hottest restaurants, and how to get some seriously secret discounts. Disney World is a treasure trove of juicy secrets, and I'm here to reveal the best and the newest of them all today on DFB Guide. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. So you guys, I've been wanting to spill all these Disney World secrets for a while now. We're going to treat today's video like a late night phone call. You know the ones where your best friend shoots you a message saying, I've got major tea to spill, when are you free? And you just know you're in for a good dirt dishing sesh. Yeah, that's what we're going to do here today. So grab a mug full of your favorite hot beverage and get ready because I'm about to shed a whole lot of light for your upcoming Disney World vacay. So best be sitting down for this big reveal because it's not just going to save you money, it's also going to save you a ton of time. For the past few years, Disney characters have popped up at random times around the resort hotels, meaning you don't even need a park ticket or a character dining reservation in order to take a picture with and get an autograph from a legit Disney friend. We'll see Daisy Duck playing lawn games around the Riviera or Goofy waving from a Wilderness Lodge balcony. We might even catch Chip and Dale causing a little chaos inside that ever so classy Grand Floridian lobby. But meeting characters outside the parks has always been more of a happy little accident, so kind of a surprise and delight as Disney calls them, rather than premeditative. Until now. Recently, we've been seeing signs starting to pop up around the resorts, like over at Port Orleans French Quarter and Wilderness Lodge, that directly state when character meet and greets will be happening at the hotels. We haven't seen these signs pop up at every resort, but it looks like it's a new trend that's becoming more and more frequent around the Disney resorts. Keep in mind that these resort meet and greets won't be listed on the My Disney Experience app, so you'll need to keep your eyes open for these specific signs if you want to know the exact times and days of the week that you'll be able to meet some of Disney's most popular characters. Now, remember, you've always been able to meet Chip and Dale every single night at the Fort Wilderness Campfire. You can still do that. We're just excited that now there are some specific times that you can plan to see other friends around the Disney hotels as well. In past videos, I've warned you about the dreaded internal bus loops that you'll come across at some more spaced out resorts. But if you're new here and not as familiar with that terminology, basically a resort with an internal bus loop means that the bus you board may have to stop at a few different bus stations before leaving to go to the parks. Or you may have to make a few stops on the way back to your room at the end of the night. And that could add quite a bit of extra travel time to your daily schedule. Not to mention, what if the bus is filled up when it gets to your stop? Or you end up having to stand up all the way back from Magic Kingdom and through 4 different bus stops before you finally get to yours. So internal bus loops can be found at big, huge, spread out resorts like Old Key West, Saratoga Springs, Port Orleans Riverside, Caribbean Beach, and Coronado Springs. But hold on there, Tiger, because the other Disney resorts aren't getting out scot-free here. Even if a Disney resort only has 1 bus stop to its name, that doesn't mean your resort bus won't make an extra stop or 2 before reaching your final destination. Recent example for you. I was over at Polynesian Village Resort in the afternoon, needed to travel over to Disney Springs to pick up my car. Unfortunately, I had just missed the Disney Springs bus, so I had to wait about 20 minutes for the next one to come by. Buses are a little more limited in the afternoon because the demand for them isn't as high as it is in the mornings and evenings. Now, when the Disney Springs bus finally arrived, everyone piled on in to the point where all the seats were 100% filled and several folks were left standing, holding onto those overhead handles. But we didn't go to Disney Springs immediately after boarding. Instead, our bus took a detour to Grand Floridian Resort and Spa to pick up more people, even though we were already at standing room only. So even if your hotel only has 1 bus stop, that doesn't necessarily always mean that the buses coming to and from your resort aren't going to be doubling up with another hotel, especially in the afternoon. It happens with Boardwalk Yacht Club Beach Club, it happens with the Port Orleans resorts. All of those kind of sister resorts that are all right next to each other can definitely get caught in this bus loop situation. Now, if you are in a hurry to get somewhere and you're relying on a Disney bus to get you from point A to point B, always factor in more time into your schedule for transportation purposes than you think you're going to need, because that extra bumper is going to be crucial. We get questions all the time about Disney World's free transportation because it can seem kind of intimidating at first. So we created a full free guide about all things Disney World Transpo to make things a whole lot more well, not intimidating. In this guide, we cover everything you need to know about navigating your way around the parks via buses, Skyliners, monorails, boats, you name it, including estimated travel times, insider tips, ECV and wheelchair accommodations, and more. Just scan the QR code you see on the screen now, or if you're watching from your phone, head to disneyfoodblog.com/transport after this. Now get this, not everyone has to pay full price for all their drinks and snacks on Disney property. I know, sneaky stuff. If a place is considered a retail shop on Disney grounds, then annual pass holders, Disney Vacation Club members, and Disney Visa card holders will more than likely be able to get discounts on not just the merchandise at that location, but the snacks and drinks available there too. A few pass holder specific examples for you. You can get extra discounts at shops like Disney's Candy Cauldron in Disney Springs, Goofy's Candy Company, also in Springs, Caramelacusha in Epcot. This one's a really big deal in my book because hello, discounted fresh caramel treats. Zuri's Sweet Shop at Animal Kingdom, Main Street Confectionery at Magic Kingdom. Seeing a trend here, lots of sweet shop discounts. Most all of the Disney Resort gift shops, a great hack for soda goblins since I can get 20% off my bottled soda using my AP, and several other locations too. Now keep in mind that discounts vary depending on your membership program, so to find out where your specific exclusive savings will apply, check the Disney World website for pass holder discounts. Also check the Disney Rewards website for Visa perks, and check the Disney Vacation Club website for DVC deals. So this probably isn't as huge a secret as Disney wishes it would be, but I'm here to throw those truth bombs to you regardless. I am a huge fan of the My Disney Experience app. It makes keeping up with reservations and wait times and lightning lanes and what have you so much easier to juggle. After all, it is Disney's official app, but it isn't perfect. What is? We've had times when the app has glitched and gotten rid of our mobile orders or multi-pass selections or even hotel reservation info. And while it doesn't happen all the time, it does happen. Enough to be a problem and enough for you to check on it, which is why it's so important to take screenshots of all your reservation info just in case you need to talk to a guest services agent about getting those reservations and purchases back onto your account if something accidentally happens to them. The main guest services buildings are located at the front of each park, but there are also several blue tents scattered throughout the parks with the little guest experience team written across them, just in case you need help with something but you're towards the back of the park and you're not looking to walk all the way to the front to get an issue worked out. Guest services will do what they can to work with you to fix any concerns or technical mishaps you're experiencing, but it sure does help them out a whole lot if you got screenshots of what's missing from your accounts saved in your phone's album. Another issue I've had even more regularly concerning the My Disney Experience app is how stubborn this app can be when I'm trying to get my hotel room door to open. It's cool that the MDE app has the capability to unlock my door with just the touch of a button. You just view your Disney hotel reservation and select the unlock door option, which should be enough to get you inside. At least in theory, it should be enough. In practice, though, it is very hit or miss. If you have issues getting into your Disney hotel room while using the My Disney Experience app, here are some options. Try refreshing the app, updating the app, and/or reinstalling your app to see if that helps the situation. All of these have helped in my experience, but above all, go ahead and stop by the front desk when you pass by and grab a physical key card just in case, especially if your room is really far away from the lobby, because the last thing you're going to want to deal with real late at night at the end of a full park day and is a locked door, especially when, of course, your room is going to be as far from the lobby as physically possible. So Space 220 over in Epcot's World Discovery area has been around now since 2021, which feels weird to me. Like, didn't that place just open yesterday? Where is the time gone? But regardless, it still continues to be one of the most popular dining reservations inside the park, as well as one of the most expensive. So I'm going to turn this point over to scriptwriter Bria real quick so she can tell you about her recent experience at Space 220, where she was able to get into the restaurant with no reservations and no prefix prices. Take it away, Bria.
Okay, friends, here's the tea. After filming a few fun games with my friends from All Ears, don't worry, you'll see those up on the channel soon, I went over to Space 220 just to see if there was any walk-up availability for a party of one for the Space 220 bar. And guess what? There was immediate seating. Mind you, this was like around noon, so I was fully expecting to have my name added to a walk-up waitlist, and yet the cast members got me right onto that Stellarator and up to the Centauri space station stat. I'm not saying this is going to be the same situation for you guys, especially if you've got more members in your group to accommodate. But while I was sitting at the bar, I did see a family of 4, 2 adults, 2 kids, happily munching away on apps and enjoying the space views behind us, which is so wild to me because most Disney lounges do not allow kiddos to sit up at the bar, so I guess Space 220 has created an exception to that rule. While I was at Space 220, I ordered some shrimp wonton tacos and a glass of water, and I am happy to announce that I got to do the whole experience for under $20, instead of having to pay $79 per person like you'll have to fork over if you book the main restaurant seating area during dinner time. Sure, I had a much more limited menu to choose from, and I was seated a little further away from the main windows, but I still saw everything just fine and felt more than satisfied with my experience, especially considering I saved a whole bunch of money when all said and done.
Incredible. So here's the main takeaway from this story. If you don't have reservations for Space 220, but you still want to experience this space-centered restaurant, try walking up to the host stand and asking about bar availability. Even if you're put on a wait list, you'll still be able to go back into the park and explore for a bit while waiting for a text saying it's your turn to shoot up into space. So Bria started us on this subject, but I'm going to expand on it. Several of Disney's lounges can hook you up with a la carte portions of food that come straight from their nearby or attached prefix fancy schmancy restaurants. Sometimes this food will be clearly advertised on the bar and lounge menus, like how Bria ordered off the Space 220 bar and lounge menu and everything was super straightforward. But other times these options might be a whole lot more secretive and not directly advertised on those lounge menus. This happens a lot. For example, over at Tambu Lounge next to Ohana in the Polynesian Village Resort, you can order the Ohana noodles and or Ohana bread pudding and sometimes even the sticky wings separately without paying that $65 prefix price. And over at Territory Lounge inside Wilderness Lodge, you can order the mushroom bisque for $12, even though you usually can only get this soup if you're eating at Storybook Dining at Artist Point with Snow White during dinner, which will put you back $67 per adult, and you only get a teeny tiny cup of the mushroom soup instead of a big bowl of it because it's really good. Territory Lounge also secretly sells the same barbecue pork ribs you can get from Whispering Canyon Cafe via the Pig Signature Skillet. If you buy the skillet at Whispering Canyon, it'll cost you $43 per person, but if you just buy the ribs separately at Territory Lounge, it'll cost you $15. Now, I love seeing people save money on Disney World food using easy hacks like this, so much so that a good portion of our DFB guide to Walt Disney World dining is dedicated to saving you money on food and helping you create a budget that will make you less stressed on how you're spending your money around the parks. So if you're looking for a heaping portion of money saving tricks and insider Disney dining secrets, be sure to check out the dfbstore.com website after this. Pick up your own guide with details about every single restaurant on Disney World property, tons of secret menus, and ways to save money. Don't forget to use code YouTube to save even more on your guidebook purchase. So Disney's got a lot of new stuff in the works, but before you get your hopes up about seeing any of these new attractions during your next visit, I want to remind y'all that no Disney release date is ever completely set in stone, especially the release dates that are really, really vague. So why am I bringing this up? Well, basically, it's to address questions that we get in the YouTube comments all the time, like, I'm going to Epcot towards the end of my summer vacation. Will Test Track 3.0 be open by then? Truth be told, I don't know. Disney's told us that Test Track will be opening in late summer 2025, but they haven't told us when late summer is. Even though Disney claims Test Track will be opening by late summer, that doesn't mean this loose timeline is a guarantee. We've seen Disney push back a lot of opening dates before, like Roundup Rodeo Barbecue in Hollywood Studios. That was originally supposed to open in 2020, and then it was supposed to open in 2022, but really it opened in March of 2023. Cake Bake Shop at Boardwalk had similar pushbacks. Originally it was supposed to open in 2023, but didn't open until fall of 2024. And the Little Mermaid Musical Adventure stage show that was originally slated to open last fall has been pushed back to this summer. Disney's opening timelines change frequently, and that's not because Disney wants to get us all worked up and angry, but sometimes a pushback is necessary if there are any delays and hiccups that happen for a project. If you've ever redone a room in your house, you know how it can be, right? Like you get quoted a certain timeline and then it ends up taking like a year longer than that. Now, once Disney puts out a specific opening date for a project, you're going to have a much better idea of if a project will be open by the time your vacation kicks off. But if you're not seeing a specific specific opening date and all you're seeing is a timeline for something, I wouldn't get your hopes up about seeing it go live during your visit. You can always push back your trip if you're wanting to improve your chances of seeing a new attraction go live by the time your trip kicks off, if you've got the wiggle room in your schedule, that is. But otherwise, just make sure you stick with us and we'll let you know once we find out the very specific date regarding when a Disney attraction is slated to open. So you know those really cool treehouse villas over at Saratoga Springs Resort? The ones where you and up to 9 other people can hang out in a space that's eye level with the trees? Yeah. These rooms are very cool, but they do come with their fair share of transportation problems. Heads up. If you're planning on booking a treehouse at Saratoga, your group is only allowed to park 1 car per treehouse. And that can be a major snag if you truly are using this room to house a group of 9 guests. Fortunately, if your group is made up of more than 1 vehicle, Saratoga isn't just going to turn you away and say, sorry, Charlie, get rid of your extra cars and then we'll talk. You just need to park any additional vehicles in the main area of the resort outside the carriage house, which is a good distance away from the tree houses themselves. Just something to keep in mind. Another snafu, Saratoga Springs doesn't let ride shares into the treehouse area, so once again, if you're trying to book a ride share to get you anywhere, you're gonna have to travel a good distance over to the carriage house if you're looking to hitch a ride. And here's the final kicker. Saratoga's tree houses do not have their own bus route, so unless you have that 1 car that's parked nearby and that's all you're gonna rely on when it comes to getting you from place to place, you will need to plan on walking over to the nearest bus stop, which in this case would be the grandstand area. Tree houses, super cool. Transportation struggles, not so much. So nobody wants the Disney Springs hot air balloon to actually let you down, as in disappoint you, right? And yet sometimes it has to for our own safety. The Aerophile is the big blue tethered hot air balloon that's become a pretty iconic part of the Disney Springs area. For $30 per adult, you can soar up high, 400 feet above the shopping district for an 8-minute look at Disney from a bird's eye view. Some think that price is worth it, some don't, and some may not have a say one way or the other because the Aerophile won't be open on the day of their visit anyways. If it's storming or if the wind that day exceeds 22 miles per hour, the Aerophile will not go up. But the good news here is that you can check ahead of time to find out if this attraction is something you can keep on your itinerary. Just call 407-938-9433 to find out if the Aerophile is going to stay open that day, or just search for Aerophile on your My Disney Experience app and see if the page lists that balloon is temporarily closed or not. If you or someone in your group is traveling with a disability, then you need to be aware of this Disney World parking pitfall. Each Disney park only has a limited number of disability parking spaces, and if you're heading to the parks on a busier than normal day, these spaces are liable to fill up before you arrive. This is something that I found out when riding with one of my friends to Animal Kingdom recently. My friend has a disability parking placard, and after we ate breakfast at one of the resorts, we headed over to Animal Kingdom and arrived by around, I want to say 11:30? Yet we proceeded to circle the disability parking lot for about 15 minutes trying to find an open space and coming up dry. Eventually, we had to settle on standard parking. Here's the silver lining in this situation. Each of the Disney World parking lots has tram services, so if walking all the way to and from your car is going to be a major issue, trams are really good at loading up a lot of people at a time and constantly picking up guests faster than, say, a Disney bus will get to you. If you want to guarantee that you get a good spot in Disney's disability parking areas, then make sure you arrive at the parks during the start of the day to claim your territory. Otherwise, you may have to circle a bit before you find an open space, or you're just going to have to settle on standard parking and rely on the tram services to help tote you from point A to point B. All right, it's time to wrap up this Gossip Gab session for now, unless you want to stay on the line for longer and discuss a few more Disney secrets, eh? We got a massive video out now where we spill 50 Disney World secrets only the pros know. And a lot of these I just learned myself. We've also got a full video about the Disney World must-dos that you've never heard of. Listen, if you're ready to pull an all-nighter on the phone talking all things Disney secrets, then I am ready too. And don't forget to download our free guide about all things Disney World transportation over at disneyfoodblog.com/transport. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.